W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo-katipunan, Kawan ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Ipagta Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo-katipunan,
We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at radyo-katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
Jescom Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang simbahang lingkod ng bayan. Ang Socio-Political Apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. Ito ang Kwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan.
Checking out the latest happenings in, around, and beyond Katipunan. This is the Katipunan Roundup.
Get ready to take part in a digital transformation full of new possibilities. In partnership with Havas Media Ortega Group, the Philippine Junior Marketing Association proudly presents Mad World, Unlocking the New Consumer Experience, happening on May 15 to 16 at 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. via online events platform Balloon. Ticket rates start at 250 pesos for premium access and 199 pesos for basic access. For inquiries, contact Alyssa at 0926-038-5917. Watch out for the grandest marketing convention of the year. See you there, marketistas! Hey there, Katipuneros! This is Anthony Perez of The Rundown. Join me every Wednesday at 4 p.m. for the latest sports stories in, around, and beyond the Ateneo. Only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
The voice of the Blue Eagle. Radyo Katipunan 87.9.
Radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan, radyo, 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 katipunan, radyo, katipunan. The voice of W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan, katipunan. Kawan ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Ipagta Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil, blue
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jhio Camama, and welcome back. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jhio Camama, your mama from another brother, and welcome back to Kwentuhang MVP. The school year is ending, and we're down to our last few episodes. Thank you all for supporting Kwentuhang MVP every week. As always, we are coming to you loud and live our homes via the Facebook pages of radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM, Ateneo de Manila University, and of course, the Council of Organizations of the Ateneo Manila. You can also stream us via Radyo Katipunan's YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. We are also coming in via audio streams at any Shoutcast online radio around the world. So just search Radyo Katipunan. We are also transmitting by the 87.9 FM frequency. So tune in if you are within the 2-kilometer radius of Ateneo de Manila University. So last week, we hyped up the nominees for the COEM Awards Leader of the Year and talked about their journeys and challenges as leaders, the ins and outs of leadership, and the importance of membership and collaboration. Speaking of COEM Awards, make sure to check out the last few activities and events of the awards. The game night, which is happening tonight at 7:30 p.m. It's open to everyone now, so visit their Facebook page, COEM Awards, and sign up for a night filled with fun games. Malay nyo, mahanap nyo na ang the one for just one night. As for tomorrow, they're also hosting the last event of the season, the cream of the corn, the COEM Awards Culmination Night or Culminite, where organizations, members, and projects will be awarded and acknowledged for all their achievements and hard work in the past year. So as for today's episode, ano ba mangyayari? We're continuing the discussion on leadership by checking in on our org presidents and how their organizations have handled the first full year of online-based work and looking back at everything they faced, accomplished, and overcame in the last school year. So without further ado, please welcome Konni de los Reyes from Ateneo Management Association, Alyssa Tanas, Ateneo Box, Famarin, Tugon Ateneo, Phoebe Go, Ateneo Junior Marketing Association, and Tony Ramos from Barefoot Philippines. Hello everyone, kamusta naman kayo dyan? Can you please introduce yourselves, your positions, and your organizations?
Hello, I'm Konni de los Reyes from Ateneo Management. Sorry, excited.
That's okay.
So hello everyone. I'm Konni de los Reyes, the president of the Ateneo Management Association.
All right, thank you. Nice to meet you, Konni.
Hi, I'm Alyssa from 3BS Biology, and I'm the president of Ateneo Box.
Hi, Alyssa. Nice to meet you. So, who's our next president? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jer. I'm from 4BS Management, and I am currently the president of Tugon Ateneo.
Hello, Jer. So, for our next president, sino ba ang next president natin dyan?
I can go. Hi, I'm Tony Ramos. I'm 4BS Psych, and I'm from Barefoot Philippines. I'm the president of Barefoot Philippines.
Nice to meet you, Tony. So, our last president.
Yes, hello. I am Phoebe Go from 4BSME, and I'm the president of the Ateneo Junior Marketing Association.
Hello, Phoebe. So, I just wanted to ask presidents, kumusta na kayo and how has the past school year been for you? Very tiring ba or exciting dahil online setting? Siguro we can start from the last. Phoebe, kamusta ka na? I think we're having a hard time. Phoebe.
I'm doing okay, Jhio. Sige,
Yeah.
I'm doing okay actually. I feel fine now. Just a little stressed because thesis is coming up last week na. Thank God. But yeah, I think like the past school year has been very fulfilling. I'm super happy with how it went. I think my EB and I really expected things to go south because of the shift nga to the online setting. But feel ko naman this year we were able to adapt and really focus on things that super mattered to the org, which were the members and the presence of marketing. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Phoebe. So, Tony, kamusta ka naman and how has the past school year been for you?
Yeah, kind of the same with Phoebe. Like I'm doing pretty well. I'm on the last push for thesis. That's really what's stuck in my head right now. But yeah, in regards to Barefoot, I think we've been handling it pretty well. Kind of like, I think everyone's been going through that we think we kind of expected the worst for this school year, but then a lot of a lot of the leaders, I think, this school year, like they really went above and beyond to making sure that not only did we survive, I think we flourished as well. Like that was really something that I realized.
Yes, thank you so much, Tommy. So, Jer, kamusta ka naman dyan? And how has the past school year been for you naman?
Hi, so I'm not gonna lie, I won't sugarcoat things. Being a student leader is hard. I'm pretty sure like the rest will be able to understand. But I guess like everyone like everyone else, it was pretty difficult handling an organization in the online setting. But I guess one thing that the GON was able to prove is that, you know, despite the challenges, as long as we work together and we know what we're fighting for and you know our purpose, then we'll be able to create really wonderful initiatives to further the advocacy. So yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Jer. Very, very advocacy-based nga talaga ang ating mga org. So, next up, siguro si Alyssa can tell us how she's been and how is the past school year for her.
Well, for me, it's very similar to others naman. Well, right now, I have a style, so it's really uncomfy. But as for the academic and organizational requirements, I feel like I'm getting by and things are getting better. And for the org naman, I feel like that we have successfully relayed the relevance of our advocacies to the community.
Yes, thank you so much, Alyssa. Last but not the least, again, si Konni naman. Konni, how are you and how's the past school year?
So I guess personally, siguro same naman as everyone else na of course it was tiring, di ba? Pero parang nakaka-enjoy na rin, especially since it's already our senior year. I guess now, looking back, it's all about, okay, making the moment count na lang rin. Kasi, yun nga, onti na lang we're gonna leave rin. So, ayun. So yeah, there's more on that lang. But in terms of Ama naman siguro, oh sorry, it's lagging. Oh, okay. Wala. Sige, so, ewan ko kayo dyan mga tao. Sana okay pa kayo. So, I think in terms of ano naman, AMA-related stuff, I think like everyone kasi, syempre nung start of the year, we were all like, okay, paano na ito? How are you gonna do these things? But I think if anything, all orgs naman were able to really see this pandemic as an opportunity to change things, to really capitalize on this entire situation in the sense that there's so much more that we can do for our orgs. And for AMA, we've experienced our biggest shift from entrep. We transitioned into social entrepreneurship, which is something we're really, really proud of to this day.
Yes, thank you so much, Konni. So, I feel like all of you are in fourth year already. So, how do you feel about the school year ending? Very much fourth year, graduating students, no? And finishing up your thesis, finishing up your org life. So, kamusta naman kayo dyan? And how do you feel about the school year ending? Siguro, Konni.
Okay. Yeah, I can go. So ito sulat na kanina, but I think 2 months ago, sobrang senti talaga. As in yung tipong, mapapahiga na lang ako. I'm just like, ano ba yan? Graduate na ako. Parang, those little thoughts talaga come into my head. And I got really sad talaga mga 2 months ago. Pero siguro now, it's settled na, more or less, at least for me. And parang looking back, syempre sad pa rin, na we're leaving and all. Pero it's more of, thankful for the experience, for the opportunity, really happy. Kumbaga, it was a good run. It was a good 4 years. Not the ideal 4 years that we wanted to have, but I wouldn't have it any other way rin naman. So yeah, just more thankful na as, you know, konti na lang and we're gonna go.
Yes, very sad now you are pushing your senti moments, the ending of your year. So, Alyssa, kamusta ka naman dyan? How do you feel about the school year ending?
I'm not yet graduating since
you're not. Sorry.
On my third year, yeah. But I guess it's really sad to have done it online because the setting is entirely different. I think very unpredictable. But ayun nga, I still have 1 more year to go. So I'm just hoping for the better, not just for me, but for everyone in the community.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. Hindi ko pala graduating, so you still have 1 more year to enjoy Ateneo. So next, Jer, kamusta ka naman dyan? Sad ba tayo dyan or happy or
actually to be honest, sabi ko pwede pa ba natin i-extend yung election, sana i-push back, sayang ako ba mag-turn over kasi parang ibig sabihin nun I have to leave na, not just the position but the organization as a whole. And for someone who's been a member since freshman year, the org means a lot to me. So for sure, maninibago ako kapag nag-graduate na ako and hindi na ako masyadong involved in Tugon's activities. So, yun. But yes, as same kay Konni, really grateful for everything, for the experience. So, yun.
Yeah, very much na parang ayoko pa, pero you have to, no? So, Tony, ikaw naman, how are you feeling? School year's ending.
Ayun naman, kind of the same. Like, I think, di ko alam, Connie, kung 2 months lang eh. Parang last sem pa ata. Like, alam mo yung you're coursing into it slowly na talaga. Tapos there are some days na ang bigat talaga. And then it just, you just have to think about getting through towards the end. Yeah. And yun naman, I think in regards to my Atenean life, or even my journey with Barefoot, no? Like any long-term relationship, it kind of sucks when it ends, right? Like, yeah, like after, it's one of those questions that you ask yourself, I guess, with the senior logics, mga seniors dito. You've invested so much time and effort into something, and then, like, yeah, like, grateful. I'm grateful, I'm thankful, but yun lang, like, it still sucks that it's going to end. Yeah.
Yeah, parang pinaghuhugutan ka ngayon, Tony. Very sad nga, no? So, Phoebe, ikaw naman, how do you feel about the school year ending?
Same, I think just want to echo everyone else's sentiments. Like, I'm a little senti and sad. I think bittersweet talaga yung feeling. Kasi, yun nga, I think this has been the longest term ever. We've been doing this for more than a year already. So very hard to let go. I think we've grown very attached to like our positions and our organizations. But at the same time, like, not gonna lie, I feel happy. Not because I'm tired or sick of it. Like, don't get me wrong. I think I'm happy lang, parang very grateful. Like, the year went really okay. And parang I'm happy because the org is now really like in great hands with the next set of officers. So yeah, happy and sad at the same time.
Yes, very, very different emotion. And speaking of different, we've all faced a pretty different year for all of us, no? And while we've talked about challenges and difficulties the pandemic has brought with it, on this show, we'll definitely get into that. Pero we'd first like to highlight the good stuff, the wins, the success stories, and the successful transitions and adaptations that organizations have achieved in the past year. So, knowing all of you are presidents of your organization, maybe know what inspired you or kickstarted your desire to pursue this leadership role. Anyone can answer. So, I'm asking for volunteers muna bago I can call on other people. So ano ba yung, what pushed you to become, you know what, I want to be a president?
Okay, so I can go first. So,
Yes,
Tugon actually means to heed a call. So, accepting this decision or pursuing this role was my way of heeding the call of the organization, the org, the members, and the sector. So when I was discerning whether or not I'd take this position, honestly, I was haunted by my fears and my insecurities. But going back to my why reminded me of my commitment to the org's advocacy. So I think that's what made me, pursue the road despite the self-doubt. So yeah.
Yes, very much parang really looking into yourself. Do I want to run? And you know what? I want to run and I want to do it for my advocacy. Very much so, Jer. So does anyone else want to share their experience of inspiration on wanting to run for our leadership role?
I can go next.
Sige.
For me naman, I think when I went for it during special elections, it was really because I just wanted to do better because I knew people deserved better. It's not naman that we were doing bad in the previous years. Like, I think we were just very static. Like, we weren't really growing or innovating as much. And we were really focusing on the things na weren't very important for the org. Well, at least I felt that way. So like, the other, yun nga, for me, parang the more important aspects were being ignored. So parang for me, kasi like being in a position of a president, it gives me not the power, but more of like the responsibility to set the direction and really focus on what really holds AJMA together. And for me nga, yun nga, it was really the people behind AJMA and the marketing part. Yeah, so that's for me.
Thank you so much, Phoebe. Very, very leadership lahat, and you're really wanting to do better and be better within your organization, no? Siguro we can call on our last president to, share their experience of wanting to run for pursuing a leadership role. Siguro I
Hello,
want to
sige, I
hear.
can go.
Yes, Connie.
Sorry. Okay, masyado naging bigo ata ako dun.
Okay lang yan,
Okay.
Connie.
So, siguro on my end, kasi first year pa lang talaga ako, I really just love the org na for what it really was. Because I think two main reasons. Number one, the people. Yun yung pinaka-important talaga for me. I really felt super welcomed even as a freshman without knowing anything in school. Ganun, parang they really welcomed me with open arms and I'm so, so, so grateful for it. And to the advocacy, I really, really believe in entrepreneurship and the value it brings to the world. And like these two things, freshman pa lang ako, sabi ko sa sarili ko, I will do what it takes to serve these two things as much as I can. And so I guess I kept on asking myself that throughout the year. So I kept on going for leadership roles and whatnot. And nung third year, I really just asked myself, okay, so given everything I've done for the org, what else can I do? How else can I serve the org? And I guess it just fell into place na, okay, this is the role that will really enable me to serve as much as I can. And yeah, I'm just really thankful na they entrusted me with this role because ayun, ultimately it's really, really for the people because yeah, I don't know where I'd be right now if not for the amans nga out there who welcomed me with open arms. So super thankful.
Yes, very coming from a place of love, you wanting to become a leader, no, Connie? So speaking of love and experiences, so how different was the actual experience from what you envisioned when you decided to run for president? May nag-iba ba? May hindi kayo in-expect? So I'd like to actually hear from that.
I can
Bro,
go.
ayan.
Yeah, well, just a bump off, no, like I think how I really envisioned it was obviously a lot more interactions with everyone involved, like a very in-depth sort of relationship with the members and the advocacy, like really bridging that together. Kind of the same with Jer, like being part of the sector-based cluster. I think that's the sort of formation that you want to be able to provide for your member base. But obviously, I think that was something that I had to manage my expectations with, especially this school year. Now, bridging that gap is especially hard when you can't actually, be there for the community. But it's very different. Like I think some context for what we do in Barefoot, we have these community engagements, right? Like where we physically go to the community and interact with our partner community. Like that's really it. And when that was taken away from us, that really made us think, like, how do we address that situation? Like, how do we provide for the community, or not even provide, but then how is this partnership enable formation for both ends, right? Like, how does that relationship foster? And that was a really big challenge this school year. But I do think like our advocacy department, our community relations department really went above and beyond to really ensure that part of Barefoot still lived, and actually did really well. But in a completely different way, like in a way that we didn't expect it at all. So yeah, in summary, no, I did not see any of this coming. But I'm grateful that we were still able to effectively do the things that we were able to do.
And thank you so much, Tony. Changes can really surprise you, no? Kala mo hindi mo na may experience yung love and affection that you come from the advocacy, pero nararamdaman mo pa rin siya in another way. So can I hear from other presidents kung ano yung experience nila? Alyssa, baka naman gusto mo mag-share.
Okay, to be honest, for me, like, it was kind of disappointing because we had our elections around the month of April last year. And parang that's part of the time where we feel na, we're still kind of hoping that we can go back to the campus. So, like, some parts of my COCs are still hinged on on-site events and such. But as the time goes by, of course, like, we couldn't go back na. And comes acceptance then and a lot of adjustments along the way since the passion for serving has always been there naman. So we just have to try to make do with what we have and what we can with the platform that we have, which is the online setting.
Yes, no, you really have to adjust for the online setting, hindi other way around. So others, would you like to share your experience? Kung ano ba yung differences from running on-site and online setting? Siguro, Phoebe, andyan ka ba? Would you like to share your experience, no?
Okay, actually, when I ran, kasi it was for special elections na, so it was already in the period na it was we were already like in the quarantine, I think. Parang 2-week quarantine yung Ateneo. So I guess I was a little hopeful pa na parang shock sana naman things get better, right? And I was planning na things will get better. But yeah, obviously parang when I presented in my MDA, my risk and like my contingencies. But still, I was so hopeful. So parang a lot of the plans that I made naman, well, okay, the plans I made naman kasi were like, it could be applied both offline and online. But of course, parang one of my personal goals, I'd say this year, kasi because personally, I'm not a very extroverted person. So really like my goal this year was to really get to know the people. Because yun nga, parang they're one of the reasons kasi why I pursued it also in the first place. So parang I really wanted to meet more people, really get to know them, build relationships with them. And I was thinking of that like in the context of an offline setting. So I think translated online, I'm not the fastest replier. And I'm not like I don't go on Discord like 24/7. So parang I think that was just the hard part of me wanting to reach out to more people, but really not being able to. So yeah, I think otherwise, like the plans naman that we created, parang they're okay. They played well in the online setting. It was really yung parang the EB reaching out to its members. Yung medyo nahirapan kami. So I think yun lang yung one of the major constraints I'd say with the online setting. Yeah.
Yun nga, no? Very hard. Thank you so much, Phoebe. Very hard yung member engagement from the org. And it's really hard serving your organization when you're having a hard time reaching out to them. Speaking of serving, how fulfilling kaya has serving in your organization been? So, ano yung pakiramdam nyo? Siguro I want to hear from Jer. Jer, would you like to share? Rhyming.
So I think the good thing about being president is that you're able to see everything and how it all comes together. So for me, the fulfillment does not come from what I have done or what I have achieved during my term, but it is really more on being able to witness, one, the growth of my fellow officers, and two, see the impact that the projects and initiatives have both on the advocacy and the sector. And then other than that, seeing survivors come to us also and show their appreciation for everything that we're doing and ensuring that they are seen and heard is also fulfilling. Knowing how much impact the org has to the advocacy and the sector is what motivates me and the rest of the members to do more and to excel in what we do.
Yes, very much so, no? Siguro, next up is, very, very much so. I would like actually to hear from Tony. I know that Barefoot is a very large organization. No? Tony, am I right? So how fulfilling has serving in such a large organization been?
Yeah, it's really, I don't know, just to kind of get from what everyone's been saying as well. It's very fulfilling. Like it really goes back down to the people that you serve, right? The people that you interact with. And it's not limited to that. It's the community that you've built around, right? Like it's the people that you go with to these community engagements. It's the people that you work with in advocacy. Like that's really it. Like like-minded individuals that were able to work together. And I think that was really, that was really the hook that really got me. Like from the beginning, I actually heard about. This is gonna be a little long, but I heard this from. I heard it from my best friend's older brother, who was like an officer in Barefoot. Context: Barefoot's only like 6 years old, right? So even before I entered the Ateneo, this guy gave me the full spiel. Like he was just like, "Oh, Barefoot does this, Barefoot does that." And then me, I was like this, not even Atenean kid. I was so invested in it already. So as soon as Rec Week came in my freshman year, I signed up like immediately. I actually forgot to sign up for other orgs, like on like. The first 3 days, but I did naman. But yeah, so I was hooked by the advocacy, but I stayed because of the people. Like I think that's not something a lot of people say. Like usually it's their friends who bring them there, right? And then eventually they find the place. But for me, it was the opposite. And I think that has made it all the better. Like I was able to find the advocacy in the people that I worked with, and I think that was something that really made all the difference in my Barefoot journey.
Yes, very much stepping stones talaga into reaching your love for the organization and its advocacies and the people. So I want to hear from Alyssa naman siguro. Alyssa, how fulfilling has serving in your organization been?
it has fulfilled me in a sense na I knew I wouldn't be able to make it this far if it didn't feel like I was serving my purpose for the org. And although it is tiring, like the support system that I've had allowed me to really push through and serve in something bigger than ourselves. So yeah, it's really fun and like um I wouldn't change any of it like if I'm given the chance.
Yes. Speaking of chances, so I would like to ask, ano ba yung mga projects or initiatives did you take part in the last school year that gave you a chance to really allow you to showcase your leadership, the skills you have, and the things you've learned? This is a chance, actually, again, a chance for you to tell us about the hard work you put into a project or initiative. Todong-todo ang pagbibigay. So I would like to hear siguro from Phoebe.
Okay. Well, I think I'm not sure how it like other organizations work, but like for AJMA kasi, parang usually the president does, and like the rest of EB actually, we're not very involved like in the projects and initiatives specifically. Like we don't join as part of the core team and stuff. But for me kasi parang I felt like I like being I like working with people. I wanted to really get in touch with like the members. So yun, parang I created my own initiatives to really enhance the marketing education in AJMA, like for the members. So parang I was creating like marketing masterclasses wherein we'd invite like marketing professionals to speak or like yung mga quick like marketing education infographics lang, parang ganon. But I think now kasi we're celebrating, well, we did celebrate our 30th year last year, so 2020. But we weren't able to celebrate given the pandemic. So, I mean, we're not going out now pa rin. But we decided to postpone the celebration to the end of the school year. So actually in June, we're gonna have our 30th anniversary event, and Jan Masada and I, so she's my VP for events, so we're actually heading the event together. So that's the first time now we're actually gonna be involved in a project talaga. So very excited for it, and our core teams like filled with a lot of freshmen and sophomores. So very young, very exciting, dami nilang ideas. So yun, very excited for that. But yeah, I think yun nga, we're not super involved. We're just there as consultants. But yeah, I don't know how the rest of the organizations do it in theirs also. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Phoebe. I think if open yung event, I would really like to ask everyone to support the 30 years. Okay, so Konni, ikaw naman, kamusta naman yung experience mo, and what were the chances that you were allowed to showcase your leadership and the skills you have within the organization and the projects that you've had?
Actually, yeah, same with Phoebe na on an EB standpoint, it's more of supervision talaga of all the projects. Pero one of the biggest things na nangyari last year na super duper proud kami of was so typhoon releases happened, right? And what happened on our end was everyone was already deployed to project teams. So we had no manpower, but we recognized that there was a need to help it. I mean, for sure, we saw naman what happened to our country in typhoon. So personally, yun, since wala nang may project teams and whatnot, or wala nang available manpower, kumbaga, there was a special project under my end. So ako yung naging project head for that. We created a donations drive for typhoon releases victims in Marikina. So ayun, we really just recognize na okay, we really want to transition to social entrepreneurship. So we really need to do something about whatever is happening today, diba? So I think that was one of the biggest things that we were able to do also. And I think I was able to showcase leadership also in that end, because I think ultimately leadership is also about rising up to the call, especially when there is a need, when there is a problem, and you're gonna do whatever it takes, diba, to address it. And I'm really ultimately super duper happy na it turned out well overall for us.
Yes, very much so. Napakaraming nga nangyari this year, and we were all really adjusting and getting to really be part of the project and really shifting a lot of systems that we've had. So I really want to talk to, again, si Jer, when asking her to share, ano ba yung mga experience mo that really allowed you to showcase your leadership?
So yeah, same with everyone else. My role is actually to oversee. So there really wasn't any opportunity for me to directly involve myself in projects. But one of my goals that I really wanted to actualize was creating a safe space for the members of the organization. Especially now during the pandemic, it's really important to be more kind and empathetic towards everyone. So with that goal in mind, I really tried to like create a culture that would make everyone feel safe and secure without, the fear of being judged. So, ayun.
Very much so. The safe spaces advocacy is really putting on full steam ahead and creating safe spaces for everybody. So now I really want to move on to some more light-hearted moments. Would you like to share some favorite memories, moments, or experiences you've had with or yung mga sabog moments nyo, lutang moments, or some just chill moments? So I want to hear siguro from Alyssa, ano ba yung mga moments na napapatawa na lang kayo or napapa-reminisce of the good times?
Siguro like one of the first EB meetings, since like we had to amend the constitution, so super long yung meetings, and of course like we're gonna reach some decision points, and then like sometimes it's gonna take like minutes before anyone answers kasi super sabog na, and like by that time now we have to take a break na talaga and just postpone the decision point until like the next meeting. So for the members naman, I think one of my favorite events was the like major task for the family. But then it's like a game night, yung setup niya. And like we just played. There was no pressure or anything. It's like a breather for the ACAD like requirements. So it was really fun.
Yes, super fun naman talaga ng mga game nights. And also, amending the constitution is heavy work. And minsan talagang after reading for a long time, wala na talagang pumapasok sa utang mo. And speaking of experiences and game nights, so Tony, ano ba yung may mga game nights ba kayo dyan or mga bangag moments in Barefoot?
Of course, lagi naman. Joke. Yeah, we try to have game nights naman. Like there's like scheduled Barefoot bondings, ganun. Like I think kind of the same with Jerna. We tried to introduce like a better way of engaging our members. Obviously, there was like, I feel like our formation and development department, which is basically HR, they were being stretched a little thin. That's why kumonte naman yung mga initiatives na ganun. I think this SEM actually, because last SEM they tried to make it back to back talaga and ganun. And then they really felt the burnout, so we kind of cut it down. But yeah, like those sorts of lessons, right? Like I think those are like really nice things. But if I had to like account for some, right? I think it was Barefoot Week, which was like a week-long event. And then they were like different talks, different events, different bondings. Like that was essentially what was happening. And then, yeah, I think nagulat na lang ako, no? Kasi I didn't expect it. There was like, it was the core team was being led by like sophomores and freshmen. Like, alam mo, for me kasi my perspective was I was kind of scared for the freshmen, especially this school year. Now, how do you hook them into the organization when they can't actually, back to my point earlier, na how they can't actually live out the advocacy as easily as they could in person, right? And but these people, like there were so many freshmen, so many sophomores who were like leading the charge in engaging everyone better and talking about things that they've actually never seen in person, right? Like I found that really interesting. And like one of the most active freshies, shout out na lang to Andre Parafinya. He's also in my IC family. It's really cool. He was heading the game night that we were having, and then he was, I wouldn't say naman he was making the seniors feel bad, but he was actually talking about like how grateful he was that we were still able to like sort of impart our experiences onto them, diba? Like he was talking about at least you guys were able to go to the community ganun, but like, to that extent. And yeah, I think that even though it was lighthearted, like it was still sentimental in a way na at least the next generation of barefooters, I know they're in a good place.
Ayan, no? Members can really surprise you with what they can do, especially na mga freshmen and sophomore na parang, kaya pala nila itong gawin. So, very surprising and very, inspiring and really nice to experience that. So, siguro in terms of experiencing TV, may mga naranasan ka bang sabog moments or really some surprising moments that really surprised you from your members?
I think siguro I'll share I think every day naman I get surprised with how like galing everyone is. Parang and how good they're adapting to this online setting, no, especially the freshmen. But siguro I'll share na lang like a sabog moment that we had. Not sabog, but like a funny moment lang. So before we got members kasi, so we got officers muna, so like all of the older people, right? So we had force officers and AVPs, and we decided to do a mixer. So the VPHR, so Franz Guevara, shout out na lang, and I planned kasi like this mixer for our officers, and we wanted to make it like a breakout, like yung breakout room style, but tipid hits. So we just made our own using Google Forms and stuff. So parang we did it really like it was so easy lang, parang crossword puzzle about Ajma and stuff. And then in the end, pang gago lang talaga. We were like, okay, give a math puzzle, like a really hard one that's unsolvable. Search it. It's called Sudoku Snake, and it's really unsolvable. Like we don't know how to do it. But basically, the goal of that, because it wasn't really to get people to solve it. It was like on a Jamboard, and then under that picture of the Sudoku snake, there was a hidden message, which was the real like answer. And the answer was the real reward are the friends you made along the way. And no one got it. Like everyone was so frustrated trying to solve that math puzzle. And then when in the end we revealed like, oh yeah, the real answer is that it's the friend that you made along the way. Like that's the real reward. They were all so angry at us, as in they were so frustrated. Like, how dare you like let us do this math puzzle for so long? Because ito lang pala yung reward. Then wala. It was just really funny because it was at the start of the year. We tried to replicate that for like our members, but toned down a bit. So yeah, our HR team tried. But yeah, same as Tony, I think medyo they were stretched too thin. So parang a lot of back-to-back like bondings to start. But yun nga, parang it gets tiring then. But yeah, hopefully we get that engagement up again this quarter with more bondings and activities. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. The friends you've made along the way are the most important part of your journey in the LS. And of course, also your academics naman. Siguro speaking of projects, are there any final events or initiatives that your organizations are closing out the year with? So can I hear from Konni? Konni, ano ba may mga project ba kayo that you want to share with everyone watching right now?
Yeah, actually, medyo marami pa. So I'm gonna share na lang. So number 1 is Seed Session. So that's one of our primary social entrepreneurship related initiatives. So yeah, stay tuned for that. It's really going to be a series wherein you learn a lot about how to run your own social enterprise and whatnot. Same goes for Innovate, wherein we want to highlight MSME owners, people who own social enterprise and whatnot. Essentially, it still goes with the theme of social entrepreneurship. Outbound, so this is in partnership with Somba, wherein we want to provide the Somba groups with investors to their big ideas. Ama merch, so ayan, merchandise for Amas of sa mga Amans. If you guys want to get your Ama merch, go ahead. Next is Advocate. So we have another merchandise-related project, pero all funds will be donated to Teach for the Philippines and Ateneo Edge. So shout out dyan. Next is also Trading Cup. So that's ongoing. So for those who like stocks there, it's an ongoing project and there's a mini competition on our end. Culminate. So same as Phoebe, it's really for us to celebrate also our 45 years naman in Ateneo rin. So bonfire night, then last na yun, pero it's the official seniors goodbye. So yes, shout out sa mga Amans dyan.
Official seniors goodbye and 45 years. Thank you so much, Konni. So siguro I can call on one more person. Siguro Alyssa, may project ba ang box ngayon na gusto nating i-share with everyone watching right now?
Oh, okay. So for the year-ender naman, we have box night, but it's exclusive to our members. It's like year-ender celebratory event where we'll celebrate the year that we've had. Then also that includes the senior send-off and like open mic night. But we also have one last advocacy project, which is the Wildlife Week, which is it's an online event that is open to public. It aims to raise awareness for animals and plant welfare, especially those now vulnerable and prone to danger, especially during the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Alyssa. So actually, I'm hearing right now. So I want to hear from everyone. Ano ba yung mga year-ender projects natin that you really want everyone to experience, even from your own members or to the full Ateneo community? So, Jer, ano ba yung mga year-ender projects natin dyan?
Okay, so we actually have 3 major projects left. So one is Ulayao, second is Safe Series, and the last is To Going Away. Yung Ulayao and Safe Series, they're actually...
Ba't ganun?
to go away eh.
Going away. So yun. So Ulayawan Safe series, they're advocacy-based projects, and it aims to encourage the public to engage in difficult conversations that need to be talked about, that is centered on sexual abuse here in the Philippines. So ayun, tapos yung to going away, yun yung parang pabaon. So, and a look back na rin on the year that it has been. So super excited for these future projects. Hope you guys can participate.
Thank you so much, Jer. Napaka-ano naman ng to going away. Nakakasad naman yan for the seniors that are really going away. So Tony, kayo naman, ano yung mga pasenti nyong projects kung meron naman kayo?
Wala kaming pasenti na yung nabigyan naman ni Jer.
Okay lang naman yan.
Sorry, Jer. I really thought I was muted. But yeah, for Barefoot naman, we still have Barefoot brand collab. So feel free to check out Purveyors, our partners Purveyors shirts. Like they're on sale right now. If you check out Barefoot Philippines, pa-shoutout lang sa brand collab core team because you guys are doing a great job. But yeah, so that's officially up. I think it's going to be up for a while. And then after that, we also have our year-ender project. Not naman to going away. Wala kaming ganun, sorry. But it is like the official senior send-off. It's called the Landas project, and that's what we're going to do. It's basically a party also limited to barefooters. Tapos pag may date kayong dala, pwede rin. I mean, that's what we usually did, pero hindi ko lang alam kung pwede pa rin sa online setting. But yeah, I think that's it. We also have our final community engagement where we're finalizing the workbooks this weekend. But again, that's limited to members. But yeah, it's more of closing everything now for the next school year.
And thank you so much, Tony. Sobrang benta talaga nung to going away. Pero kung to going away ka, ay pupunta ka na sa sarili mong landas. O, diba? So, Phoebe, would you like to share any year-ender projects that you have with us?
So for us, yeah, same as Konni, we're celebrating the 30th year. So we're going to have a special week-long and culminating event for that. But I think it's going to be close to Ajman's lang. But we also have one last project, which is TEDx AdMu. So yun, like ideas worth spreading. We're using the TED brand. Yeah, I think it's going to happen very soon in May, actually. So yeah, very excited for those last two projects.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm actually really excited for TEDx. No? Very exciting na mapapanood mo na ang YouTube. Ay, mapapanood mo na in an Ateneo setting. So, speaking of projects nga, ano ba yung mga proudest achievements nyo during your term as presidents? May it be small or big or long or short. Ano ba yung mga proudest achievements? Maybe we can go all around the table or the Zoom kung ano yung mga proudest achievements nyo. Siguro, Phoebe, would you like to share?
Okay. Something that we're really proud of, like my EB and I, is I think what we did kasi this year is we really established yung once an Ajman, always an Ajman. Like we really brought it to life. Because I think it's been a saying for so many years, but parang it wasn't really seen or established as much in the org. So every year kasi parang people have to apply and get retained again and again. And for us at least, like we were like, parang it's not making sense. How is that once an Ajman, always an Ajman? So this year, since it was also the Constitution year, we decided to amend it na, okay, if you were retained once in any year that you joined AJMA, then you can just join AJMA again and be a retained member for life. So yun talaga, you're once an AJMAN, you're gonna always be an AJMAN. So that's something that we feel very proud of. And we hope that yung alumni or the current members of AJMA this year really feel like that familial sense of like being an AJMAN. Yeah.
Yes, once an AJMAN, always an AJMAN. Napaka heartwarming and heartfelt naman nun. So Tony, ano ba yung proudest achievements mo dyan?
Marami naman, syempre.
Yes.
Joke lang. Yeah, I think this year, I don't know naman the sentiment of everyone here, no, but I think it is really about establishing more secure processes. Like this school year, I feel like I think this year, like alam mo yung in the regular setting, you could get away with a lot of things. Like a lot of things could go wrong and you'd be like, all right, that's at least fine, like successful in your project, or something happened. They're essentially holes that you allow to leave, that you leave unfilled, right? But the same with Phoebe. Like I think this year we really were able to establish ourselves better. I think really early in the year, if I could name one thing, it was the recentering our advocacy, because a lot of people got confused with what Barefoot does, right? Like we serve the rural communities, not just indigenous communities. Like indigenous communities are important, pero nagkataon lang na our last two partner communities, were IP groups, right? So like that sort of clarification were like steps in the right direction to really, let people know what Barefoot was going to be doing this school year, which is really like, recentering our advocacy and involving the members a lot more in that, right? So yeah, I think if I could summarize it, we tried to fill as many holes as possible, and we made all the mistakes possible as well. Like I think this school year, to ensure that next school year they'll really have a solid baseline to jump off of.
Kaya nga, Tony, you really made your processes swak. So ang swak na process ay sulit na process. So, Jer, would you like to share again? Ulit na yung share. Would you like to share your proudest achievements?
I guess as an organization, what I'm really proud of is the fact that we are able to establish a more inclusive advocacy in a way that we are able to create conversations that were considered centered around topics that were considered as taboo or topics na may stigma pa rin here in society. So yun yung at least we were able to reach more people. That's super important na hindi na kami stuck to, just a certain group of people. So yeah, that's my proudest moment. So that's our proudest moment so far.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Very much heartfelt nga lang, So Alyssa, ano ba yung proudest achievement mo during your term as president?
It's not just for me, but it goes to all of the officers and the core teams who helped in organizing the initiatives. So of course, like we are proud to be able to execute the projects that we set out to do in the first place, because it was really hard talaga at first because, a lot of adjustments. Then we also got to reinforce the foundation of the org through going through the systems, like what Tony said kanina, like see what we can improve on, then go out of our way to make sure that it can be translated well in the succeeding years. Prioritizing the member relations and welfare. And last but not the least is the connections and the friendships that we've built along the way.
Yes, very much so. Yun nga, it's the most important thing is the friends you've made along the way. So Konni, would you like to share your proudest achievement during your term as president?
I think for us, really, so same as Alyssa also na, it was really a collective effort, I think, ultimately naman. And I guess on our term talaga, I think it was really pivoting the entire advocacy of the org, first time in its 45 years of existence. Because I think business, or entrepreneurship, parang there's this notion na, okay, entrepreneurship is really for you to achieve your dreams, period. Or it's more self-serving, right? But I think, if anything, this year we really wanted to also show that entrepreneurship is not just about that. It's also a means to help others out, diba? And it was the first time that AMA was able to push for something as big as this. And it's just really heartwarming na we're not really just helping others achieve their dreams, but also helping the marginalized also in the process. And I think it will also provide AMA with something more fulfilling to work towards in the future. Because I think ultimately naman, at one point, syempre, growth will be so much more fulfilling if it also involves other people along the way, right? And with this in mind, I think the proudest thing also that all of us have achieved is to be able to do this with the entire AMA member base. Of course, any achievement naman, it's so much more fulfilling, so much more heartwarming if we do it together. And I'm just really, really thankful for everyone I've worked with in AMA so far.
Yes, being together is the most important thing, especially when you're in an organization. I think I can speak for everyone. Siguro, the proudest achievement that you can have is you survived the online setting as presidents, which has not happened in centuries or actually ever happened. So I think you can be really proud of that. You can say, oh, I was a board president when I was in LS. So, there are a lot of misconceptions about leadership. Yeah. We believe you as org presidents can shed light on these and help us debunk some myths about leadership. So I want to ask, what have you learned upon taking this leadership position? Can I siguro ask, let's see, Konni?
What have I learned? I think, if anything, about with the leadership experience, especially now during the pandemic, it's na anything really is possible. Parang yun yung natutunan ko talaga na whatever constraints you're faced with and whatnot, there's always a way to serve, there's always a way to help, there's always a way to lead, right? Um, and I think with that in mind, the biggest learning that comes alongside it also is the fact na you're not alone. There will always be people out there who will help you. Even if, okay, parang sabihin, okay, you're president, so mag-isa ka there. Hindi yun totoo because nakukuha naman namin yung lakas namin sa mga members eh. Diba? So, ultimately, it's really those two things. And if anything, just, kumbaga after this entire year, feeling ko, kay sus, kung nakaya ko yung pandemic presidency, kaya ko na lahat. I can achieve my dreams. Parang ganun yung feeling. So yeah, super duper thankful for the experience actually.
Yes, thank you. Oo nga, no? Very, very defining experience in being an org president in the pandemic. So siguro can I ask, Tony, ano ba yung mga natutunan mo taking this leadership position?
Yeah. Kind of, I don't know. Same sentiments with Konni. Kaya ko na lahat. But I think what I kind of learned was, it's a lesson that I've learned for like a long time, but then it's something that came up a lot this school year. Like, investments in people almost always pay off. Like, that's something that I really realized. Like, at the start of the school year, especially like when I was getting used to the entire presidency, what I did, the kind of same with Phoebe, I'm not that extroverted. I'm just loud. That doesn't mean I'm an extrovert. But yeah, that's one thing I really realized. But if there's one thing I did excel in terms of relationships with people, I was really good at one-on-one conversations and like, formation and everything. Yeah, so what I did was I was really trying to, I would make kulit these people, like one-on-one talaga. Alam mo yung pinipm mo sila, like kahit they're part of the Discord group. Tapos you tell them, oh, we're gonna do something later, we're gonna do gonna. And then some of these people, like, they actually stick around. They commit to other core teams, they commit to other things because you spent time and you actually invested your thoughts in them. Like you became friends with them. And then you have a sense of their buy-in, if I would say, and into the organization. And even if these people weren't that active before, like they literally did the bare minimum, suddenly now they're in different projects, right? Like those sort of investments always pay back, I feel like. And even if they don't, like not overtly, some of these people, like if they didn't do enough, they feel bad. not to say that's a good thing, but I mean, sa isip nila, it's like, oh wow, like I was given the opportunity to actually do something and I didn't, right? So like maybe I will next time, like that sort of thinking. But yeah, just to go back, investing in people always pays off, and I feel like that isn't just limited to my presidency. That's something that goes for any sort of leadership.
Yes, really getting to know your members and really engaging them one-on-one is a really important thing and really a good investment in a sort of way. Siguro, the next question is, are there any general assumptions or notions that many people have regarding leadership that you don't think are correct? Siguro, Jer, ano ba yung mga tingin mo general assumptions na hindi ka agree?
Leadership isn't, well, for me, leadership isn't about being the boss and, having the high position, in the org structure and, bossing everyone around. Hindi siya ganun talaga eh. I think what makes a leader is the ability to encourage and motivate your co-officers and members to be their own kind of best. So, yeah.
Yes, very, very motivational part style lagi for the organization, no? Siguro, Alyssa, ano ba yung mga general assumptions that you don't think are correct?
For me, I think there's this notion na like as long as you're aware of your whys and you are equipped with passion, like it's gonna be enough not to conquer all the drawbacks in leadership. But like seeing some officers reaching burnout even though they are really passionate in what they do, like na the notion fails to include yung external factors that can really affect the individuality of a leader. So whether it may be like personal problems, academics, medical stuff, etc., like it can really influence and I guess disrupt your flow as you lead. And I think that whys and passions aren't the only prerequisites in leadership, given that it can also be highly circumstantial. And it's something na talaga I've learned from like so much because you just have to be really like sensitive to the other people's context.
Yes, very understanding the context and understanding where they're coming from is very, very super duper important. So next is, what do you think true leaders, attributes do you think true leaders should have? Siguro, Connie, ano ba yung attributes na kailangan gusto natin malaman? Do you think true leaders should have?
I think personally it also boils down to really having that, hindi na the ability, pero that willingness also to immerse yourself in these types of situations, or like basta situations where you have to really interact with a lot of members and whatnot, really going deep down into mga business term, pero parang consumer centric. Kumbaga, you really focus on the core of why you are leading, the core of the organization, and ultimately it will always be the members, diba? They're our most important asset, right? And I think that's the main thing that leaders really should have, because ultimately, naman, this isn't about you. This isn't about the leader. It's about the member. Like, why are you serving? Who are you serving for? Diba? And I think ultimately, that's already the foundation of everything that's gonna go. Parang, okay, for you to create these strategies, it always has to come from them. It always has to come from these things that are rooted in consumer insights and whatnot. So yeah, ultimately, I think it's about that.
Thank you so much, Connie. So, Phoebe, ano yung attributes you think true leaders should have?
Okay, for me, I think two things actually. One would be disruptive, but in a positive way. Because I don't know, for me, because I'm super for innovation and constantly evolving. And yun nga, the hope na lang talaga is like 5 years from now, things aren't exactly the same as they are now, right? Parang you want things to be changing to adapt to like who the members are in the next 5 years. So yun, I feel like a leader should be disruptive in a sense na you question why things are being done. So why does this exist, or why is it important, and how can we better do it? Parang ganon. So disruptive in that sense. And the second would be resilient. I think it's easy for us to like look at something and see its difficulty and just like turn away from it and say like, oh, it's too hard, it's impossible, let's not do it. But actually, like, something I read from a book is like, parang yung leader, a good type of leader is parang you see that problem, you see that it's something difficult, but the way that you frame it in your head isn't na, oh yeah, let's run away from it. It's more of like, don't think about how difficult something is, think about how important. You see naman like, yes, it seems like an almost impossible task, but at the end of the day, like what Connie said, think about why is it there ba in the first place, but it's for your members. So no matter how hard it may be, you know that it's important for your members, for the people that you're serving. Therefore, you have to be resilient in a sense na you still have to do it because it's for them in the end. Yeah.
That's very touching, very resilient, and you really have to do it for others, becoming a person for and with others. Thank you so much nga for sharing with us your journeys as leaders, everyone. Before we end, siguro let's have a quick one-word Q&A. We'll give you a question and you'll have to answer as quickly as you can. So let's start from Connie and ending up to Phoebe. So fast talk, parang fast talk with Boya Bunda. So first one is one word to describe the year you've had as org president. Connie.
Fulfilled.
Alyssa.
Exciting.
Jer.
Happy.
Tony.
Solid.
Solid. All right. Phoebe.
Growth filled.
Yes. All right. So actually, ito naman, very dedicated. Sorry, Alyssa, pero for the seniors to, one word for the next leaders and members of your organization. Connie.
Laban.
Laban. Jer.
Tatlo, pero just do it.
All right. Tony.
Dalawa, kaya yan.
Phoebe.
Ako tatlo. Good luck na lang.
All right. So, ito naman, medyo, I'll be asking for one sentence. And I can give you a little bit of like 5 seconds to think about it. What's the most valuable lesson you've learned in your presidency the past year? Really think about it. You have 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Phoebe.
I think you're not alone and people are always there to help. So you should really just reach out because things are like two heads are always better than one.
Yes. All right. Tony?
Yeah, sorry. Invest in your team. You'll always get something back.
All right. Jer?
Commitment over passion because passion fades.
Alyssa?
A small step is still progress, so you don't have to be too hard on yourself.
Konni?
If there's a will, there's a way.
All right. Thank you all so much for a wonderful glimpse at your journeys as leaders and the year that went by so differently yet so quickly. Thank you, President, for serving your term well. And we wish you and your organizations all the best as we are nearing the end of another semester and school year. That's it for today's episode. Org members, make sure to thank your presidents and boards for all the hard work and they put in the past year, and leaders. Kayo thank your members for all their patience and teamwork and hard work. Don't forget to check out the COEM Awards on Facebook. Participate in tonight's game night and watch Culminate tomorrow, May 15th. I'm Jhio Camama, 1BS Psychology, and this has been Kwentuhang MVP.